the New York Knicks. I'm back in the New York groove. Well, it's the Knicks. New York. We are the New York Knicks. New York. For this new season we're about to enter, the Knicks taking no shorts just like winter.
New York, New York.
New York be about the Knicks, huh?
But the best thing about New York City is
K-N-I-C-K-S.
Everybody say go New York, go New York, go!
Go New York, go New York, go!
Hey everybody, it is the New York Knicks podcast, episode 574, part of Dash Radio. Thank you for joining. I am Jay, and with me is Mark. How you doing, Mark?
Good. We are, tonight is the NBA draft lottery. If you're listening, obviously you already know the results. I don't know the results yet. Jay does know the results. He's going to let me know the results on the show, and then we're going to talk more Knicks and playoffs from there. Jay, I brought a mascot before the draft lottery. I know you're supposed to bring something like helpful for your team, right?
Yeah.
So I brought, if you can see it in the camera, a poop emoji. That seems like how it goes for us every goddamn draft lottery. That seems like how it's going to go for us. I have a little toy poop emoji. It represents everything the Knicks have given me the last 20 years. How are you doing, Jay?
So you are pumped for this.
I am pumped because I have to say, if the basketball gods are ever going to give us the number one pick in the draft, it would be this year. It would be a year when the talent at the top, there's a bunch of good players at the top, but it's really one of the weaker drafts we've had in a while. Weak to the point that a lot of Knicks fans are like, do we even need to draft anyone in the top with our 11th pick and blah, blah, blah. The Knicks should definitely draft someone with the 11th pick. But if you draft in the top three, Jay, who would you even take? Before we even get into this, Jay, let's pretending we might actually have a pick. According to the mock draft on Tankathon, they had the top three picks being a top three on the board. The top three picks being Chet Holmgren, Jabari Smith, and Paoli Banchero. And Jaden Ivey being fourth.
Anything.
Fine. I can't pronounce anything. For the 1,000th episode of our show, I'll learn how to pronounce English. Anyway, any thoughts? If the Knicks got the number one pick in the draft, who would you take and who would you not take?
I mean, I would probably take Chet, but I would be terrified.
Chet is he makes Kevin Durant look like not thin. He makes Kevin Durant look fat. Like he is just the skinniest guy. He is 7 foot. He has guard-like skills as far as dribbling. He's supposedly really a good defender, blocks a lot of shots. He's a good rim runner. He would be, people like Mitch, and he also can shoot the three. He'd be a lot better than Mitch. I'd be happy to get a guy like that in the draft. Is he worth number one pick in a league that's going away from centers?
I mean, is there anybody that you think is like a consensus number one pick?
Well, there isn't. That's why. Jabari Smith is a power forward. If we actually moved on from Randall, Jabari Smith could back up Obi Toppin. I don't know. It would be funny that we were like, we got rid of Randall, Obi. Obi's like, yes. And we drafted someone else who's going to take your playing time. Wait, what?
Wouldn't that be the same thing with Banchero?
Yeah, Banchero is also a power forward. 2 of the 3 guys are a power forward. 4th is Jaden Ivey, who's a shooting guard. Who would and he's kind of he's kind of a in between a little bit. But he'd be the exciting player. He'd be the kind of guy we'd want to get in this draft, I feel like.
Right.
I don't know. What do you think, Jay? And Jay's like, I'm not going to spend too much time on this because I already know the results.
No, motherfucker.
Wait, Martin.
Yes.
Could you calm down because we don't know the results yet, or Jay knows. I don't know. If you
I don't
know
know.
the result, okay. Nope. Why are you okay? You're just cursing because just to fuck with me?
No, because kids ruin everything, and my mom's a complete jerk tip. So there you go.
Oh, okay. You're just speaking like the golden truth.
Yeah.
Martin bringing positive energy today.
What?
I know what's gonna happen. I'm gonna make. Are we recording yet?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're on.
Oh, nice. They heard it good. It's on the internet. I hope my mom listens to this. All right.
Send her a link.
What happened with a very short synopsis?
So,
What
story: record a concert. Old people don't know how to drive. Can't get out of parking lot. Have to take kids to ice cream. Mom has drama with her car, even though it's a nothing burger.
Why is there a recorder concert?
My son. Recorder.
No, why do recorders exist?
Oh, that's a great question. I said, why couldn't someone? Because my wife goes, it's a simple instrument, and I said, but someone couldn't invent a better sounding instrument that's simple. Like,
what about like a 3-string guitar?
There you go. Or a 1-string guitar.
1-string guitar. Screw it. I mean, it's got to sound better.
I mean, it's horrible. Even the principal was like, "This sounds like crap." Like, I'm sorry that you guys have to listen to the practice.
I just can't believe
Did Mark freeze?
he did. Yeah, we lost Mark.
Okay. I just thought he was very captured by the story.
We're doing like the tag team wrestling. One co-host comes in, the other one comes out.
Oh, there you go. He just bowed out.
Yeah.
So you know the results. I definitely don't. I do have juice on the Celtics game tonight, though.
Oh yeah. What'd you bet?
What did I did a parlay.
You stacked a bunch.
What was that?
You stacked.
Yeah, they were doing like a special where they gave you a 33% boost on a same game parlay. So I just teased everything down. Boston plus 14.5, under 213.5, and Jason Tatum 25 plus points.
Okay.
15 pays 40. I just wanted some action. It's not a. Everyone's like, this guy doesn't bet like a real man.
I always bet like $5, but then I'll stack like 12 parlays. And
have you hit one?
I hit one, and it was like it wasn't as bold as my other ones. It was like I think I won like $40 on 5.
Gotcha.
I did one the other day. I stacked so many, it was like it would have paid like $2,500 or something. I think I hit like 9 out of 12, but there's always that one guy who just
you gotta
completely.
It's such a sucker bet, those parlays, but they're fun.
They're fun. I figure like $5, I have fun with it.
So you guys started the podcast, but did you talk about anything? Like, did he make his predictions or anything?
We were just going over the top 4 guys. Like if the Knicks got the number 1 pick, who would you take?
I have no freaking clue. All I know is I will say this is going to be the last year where the draft is normal, because I think this name, image, and likeness stuff is going to really mess with college basketball.
Oh, you think
it's
a lot of
going to
people
be weird?
Go to like the G League and stuff?
Well, not just that, they're getting money to pay college, like Shaq did. No, they're getting all these endorsement deals. That's why I think that's why Jay Wright quit at Villanova, and all these coaches are bitching about it because Miami's going to end up paying people to play down there.
Oh, yeah. I guess if they do that, then you could have like even
a
more
super team
teams. Yeah, I mean,
if you have enough boosters,
it's already kind of an issue.
Now it's out in the open.
Yeah, Kentucky's like a friggin' NBA farm at this point.
Exactly. Well, you watch. Iona is going to be like this hotbed because you got what's his name, the cheater guy, Rick Pitino, former Knicks coach. So who are the top 4 guys that they're saying? I actually watched the tournament, but I don't know who's coming out. I'll say European dude.
Chet Holmgren is what most places have as the number 1 pick.
Yeah, I do have a prediction on the draft lottery, and I have no idea.
Okay.
So I think that the Cavs somehow are going to luck out with the first pick, and LeBron will go there.
That was Mark's prediction too.
That's funny.
He said he messaged me the same thing
because the league is fixed.
I mean, usually it's if a team loses a big star, they'll win the lotto. I mean, it happened with the Pelicans. The league also owned.
Right.
But then it happened with Houston when
San Antonio
Harden left.
Sort of. Remember San Antonio lucked out because they tanked that one year and they got Tim Duncan.
Yeah, but that wasn't really like a star leaving.
That's true.
Okay.
It happened.
I'm back.
It happened to
My
Orlando.
misery knocked you out.
Happened
Your
to
misery
Orlando
recorder. Okay. Yeah, so recorder sucks.
We're done with the recorders.
I also realized the reason my son didn't have a recorder concert because of COVID. So anyway,
feel free to
so
just,
you and I have the
jump
same
in
prediction. It sounds like about Cleveland getting the first pick and LeBron going there.
yes. I thought it made a lot of sense. You guys have probably talked about this, but it makes so much sense that Cleveland, who has the worst odds tonight, will win the number 1 pick, and LeBron will be like, I guess I'm done in LA. I'm going back to Cleveland, and they'll play another I'm coming home video. And
Oh God, no, that's only for Melo. We should predict how many. So what the Knicks are if everything played out perfectly, where are they supposed to land?
11. Well, sorry, if they play out as is,
As the odds are supposed to be.
11. Yes.
Okay, I will say the Knicks will then get 12.
Yeah, that would be the Knicks have since Patrick Ewing. The Knicks have only stayed where they are or moved back in the draft. They have never moved up.
They've never benefited since Patrick Ewing.
Since Patrick Ewing. And Ewing was a huge benefit, but that was a long
but that was frozen
time
envelope
ago.
fix.
And somehow
Exactly.
they have the 3rd worst luck in the draft.
It is the 3rd worst luck? What do you mean?
So there's 2 teams that have had worse luck through the draft lottery.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Who? Like Sacramento or something?
I think Minnesota.
Okay, I could see that.
Didn't Minnesota get Towns with the number 1 pick when they won the lottery?
Yeah.
Yeah, what about
But that's their. They had the worst record, so.
They didn't move.
Yeah.
They were where they were supposed to be.
Yeah.
Okay. So that maybe Atlanta. I could see
Wait,
Atlanta.
wait. And Minnesota also got what's his name?
Garnett.
No, well that too. But that way he wasn't the number 1
Wiggins?
pick.
Didn't they get Wiggins?
Wiggins was
Wiggins
a
was a
trade.
number.
Cleveland drafted him and traded him on draft day.
Who did they
That's
get?
true.
There was one year they got a guy.
No, the guy
the
they-
Canadian guy, right?
No, the guy they just got what's his name? He was just in the playoffs. He was awesome. Anthony Edwards. He was the number 1 pick also.
Didn't they have the worst record again?
Screw it. The Knicks have had the worst record. They don't get it when they have the worst record.
I don't know.
It's just bullshit. I don't. No one has had worse luck than the Knicks. The Knicks had the worst record, and Zion and Ja do not play for the Knicks. Zion doesn't really play for anyone.
That's true.
Whatever. The Knicks always move back. So the Knicks going into this, and we're not going to delay this too much. The Knicks currently have a 17%. A 9.4% chance of being a top 3 pick, and a 2% chance of getting the number 1 overall pick.
Never.
So those odds sound in the Knicks' favor. Jay, do you want to? So I was saying who the Knicks should take. Currently, Martin, the top 3 guys projected are a center who looks like He looks like he's insanely thin. He's rail thin. A center, and then there's 2 power forwards at 2 and 3. Would be interesting if the Knicks got the top pick and draft the power forward to increase their. And then they didn't move Randall, and they had Randall, Obi, and this new power forward, all the same roster.
The East's big, man.
East is big. But anyway, the Knicks are unlikely to have this issue of figuring out who to take in the top 3 because they will not be in the top 3. Jay, do you want to start at 15 and work your way down?
Oh, is Drew Timme coming out? He's going to be like one of those college good players and nothing else.
I haven't seen him on any mock draft.
He's another Gonzaga guy. Now I know who Holmgren is. Holmgren's pretty good, but I don't know. He's another one of those guys that are good in college and he's never going to be good in the NBA.
I see him. He's rail thin. I don't really know when you put really bigger centers against him. He also has this guard ability, dribble, but it's not really Could you really see him having really guard skills in the NBA?
I'm actually looking at no. Coburn might be good. He might be one of those but they don't need someone like him.
Yeah, I think Chet is going to be the better version of Porzingis. Is still good, but not necessarily for this NBA. I know Chet's supposed to be able to shoot threes, but he probably won't shoot threes at the level you want him to.
No.
Yeah, he's not Durant. He's just this he's tall. He does a lot of stuff, but
Is Remy Martin coming out too?
I don't even know who Remy Martin is.
Ron Harper Jr. I thought he was a senior. He's at Rutgers. He was pretty good.
All right, so 14.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, so right now, 15 would be the Cleveland Cavaliers, right?
There's only 14 in the draft. Guy who's done 600
14
episodes of a basketball podcast.
All right, so start backwards and let's see if they, and then tell us if they landed where they're supposed to.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. So 14th pick, 97% chance. Cleveland getting it. They got it.
Oh, you really don't no drum roll, Jay?
I mean,
how was the telecast? Did you watch the telecast?
Yeah, I mean, they milked it as much as they could. They brought in a bunch of the top 3 prospects they brought in. They announced every single representative from every team, and like then they had Perkins say his bull crap, and then
you guys don't like him. I like him.
I don't like.
I don't love Perkins.
I like Perkins. I like when he's on PTI. They have him on PTI sometimes.
I mean,
Jay, who was repping the Knicks?
Wasn't it Worldwide West?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah.
I thought I saw them announce that the other day.
Okay. Worldwide West. Well, did he use?
He
his
made his
connections?
He made his annual appearance.
Okay.
And we won't see him. He'll go into witness protection for the next 12 months.
So,
I mean, just like all the Knicks front office supposedly are doing things, we just have no idea what they're doing. Okay. Who's 13, Jay?
13th pick. Charlotte had a 92.9% chance of getting this pick.
And they stayed at 13.
And they got it.
Okay.
All right.
So 12 is the first pick where the Knicks could be. This would mean did the Knicks actually they can't move to 12 now because if the only way they could move to 12 is if one of the 2 teams behind them jump them. So they're not at 12. Unless the 12 team jump them.
The 12-11. Yeah.
Yeah, because the Knicks are 11. Who was 12? So 12 would have been the Clippers.
Clippers, 86% chance at number 12. They do have like an 8% chance of moving into the top 4, which would move the Knicks back to 12.
Okay, so Jay, I thought he was going to say they moved up. Martin, are we going to move down? Are we going to move down?
I'm going to stick with my original prediction that they got 12.
Okay, I'm going to say the Knicks end up at 11, which seems like the most obvious thing. Okay, they did not move up. So what happened, Jay?
They moved back to 23rd.
They traded out?
No,
you can't trade out of the draft lottery.
That would be so funny.
You could.
I don't think you can actually trade.
I don't think you can trade right now. It's probably cold and frozen.
Yeah.
But
The Knicks trade 100 of their ping pong balls for two second round picks.
It'd be great if you could actually
first
trade.
Time they actually use some balls. All right.
Wouldn't that be awesome if it was like also the Knicks in the trade gave up 2 ping pong balls?
All right, so the Clippers stayed at 12.
Okay,
right.
so 11.
So, did they move up?
Wait, the Clippers, hang on. So the Knicks are either at 11 or they move up.
Right.
There's no chance the Knicks moved up. Martin, what do you think?
No way.
The Knicks have a 9.6% chance of moving up, a 77.6% chance of 11th.
You know how I know they did not move up?
Hmm?
I have no text. I have nothing that indicates.
That's sort of cheating.
Oh, wow. Well, no, I would just have heard it. Jay also got in the show before the show started. He was like, "Hey, what's up?" Jay would not have said, "Hey, what's up?" Jay would have been like,
No poker face.
I don't think Jay. If the Knicks had gotten the number 1 pick, do you think you could have hit it with your number? And I don't know yet. Maybe they did. Do you think you have a good enough poker face?
I think I could have done it.
I think he could have done it.
Yeah.
Okay. See, Jay, right there.
He wouldn't have done it for the bit. He's dedicated to the bit.
But I didn't have to do it because they're 11th.
Fuck.
That's not even tradable. Did anybody move up?
Let's look at. So just go through this a little faster now. Number 10 would have been Washington. Did they move up, Jay?
Number 10 is Washington.
Okay. Number 9 would be the Lakers pick, but it goes to the Pelicans, and I bet the Pelicans move to number 1 because that would be a good storyline to keep Zion with the Pelicans. Did the Pelicans move up, Jay?
They did.
Oh my God! Holy shit! I hate the NBA. It is so goddamn rigged. I mean, it really is. I just admit it. This whole draft lottery thing has been rigged from goddamn day one. The NBA hates the Knicks. and they just want some good goddamn storyline.
So number 9 is the Spurs.
Oh.
Wait, the number 9's the number 9's the Spurs.
Mm-hmm.
So they moved down from what?
They moved from 8 to 9.
Okay.
Okay. So the Pelicans, we don't know where they are. Okay, number 8 is. So who's number 8, Jay?
Number 8 is the Pelicans.
Oh, they moved up 1.
They moved up 1.
Wait, they didn't move up 1.
I don't know. You're the one reading the odds.
Oh, okay. I got it wrong.
Jesus
I forgot.
Christ,
I missed.
Mark.
I didn't. I'm a moron. Okay, so it was San Antonio at 9, Pelicans at 8. No one moved up. Okay, that would have been a good storyline. Anyway, NBA, you're not rigged. I don't know what I'm saying. I was probably drunk. Don't sue us.
7.
7, Sacramento. Did Sacramento move up, Jay? They need some help.
Sacramento moved up.
Okay.
7 is the Blazers.
Okay, so the Blazers did not move up. Number 5 would have been Indiana. Who's at 5 now? Did Indiana move up?
They're 6.
Okay, they did not move up.
They moved back.
Number 4 would be OKC, who has been just piling on with these draft picks. They have so many goddamn draft picks, and their team is still terrible, but this might be their last terrible season. They move up.
So number 5 is Detroit.
Okay. Wow. Detroit got fucked. They would have been 3.
Yeah.
Okay, just tell us the top 3, Jay. I'm tired. I can't do this.
So number 4 is the Kings.
Okay.
3 is the Rockets.
Oh, Rockets' worst record.
2
I've had that happen to us.
2 is the Thunder.
2 is the Thunder.
And
so that
1 is the Magic.
Wow.
All right. They deserve the first pick. That team's horrible.
Isn't the Magic the perfect team to pick number 1? Because they will draft a center that will not be very good. Like an overrated center. They have a history of drafting overrated center. Well, they drafted Shaq back in the day.
Shaq.
And
but like
prime Dwight was really good.
And Dwight Howard had one really good year.
100% right. But then they also drafted like Jonathan Isaac, Mo Bamba. More recently, they drafted a lot of big men that have turned out not to work out.
True.
But yes, historically, Shaq and Dwight Howard are awesome.
But is the first pick this year really that prized? Like, it's not that great of a draft, right? I mean,
no, we were saying it's one of the weaker drafts.
I mean, there's going to be a couple players that are going to be awesome. We just have no idea. It's not like other years where you're like, oh, definitely.
Like surefire guys.
Yeah.
So,
now, the Ringer.
Sorry.
The Ringer has the Knicks drafting Jalen Duran, and they do a good job of doing pluses and minuses. And so the minuses for Jalen Duran is off-ball defense, simple things like boxing out and not getting into foul trouble, lacking passing accuracy, struggles with shooting, and he doesn't
sounds like a Thibodeau guy.
He doesn't have a good back to the basket game. So isn't that like just everything?
What? And you know that his position is center. So you really want a center that can't rebound
or post up.
Like the basic. What does he do to get like? What does he do? Right.
He is a good shot blocker.
Okay.
Don't we have a guy that does that already?
And
we have 2 guys that can block shots. Yeah.
And he is a good interior finisher. So he doesn't post up, but I guess he's like an.
So we have Obi Toppin who could do that.
Yeah.
I think we have enough guys that can do that. Maybe if that's this guy might be a lot better than what they're describing. But if that's who's available at center, we could just pass and take someone in the second round.
Well, no, trade it for Donovan Mitchell straight up. They'll do it.
I think Mark, you brought up a good point today. He's the youngest guy in the draft, so Knicks fans will go nuts about his potential for the next 5 years.
Yeah. So Mark, I don't know how closely you follow the Knicks Twitter, where they fetishize the age of a player when he's drafted, and there's always like, oh my God, he's so young. You don't know how good when he hits puberty, he's going to be amazing.
We should get Ntilikina back.
Yeah,
we can't yet though because he's still playing.
So, Mike, I'm going to call it here. The Knicks are going to draft probably that guy, and Tari Eason is going to be the guy that they should have drafted.
Eason is that 18.
Is that the guy? Is that the next pick after?
5 picks after.
According to the mock on Tankathon, he's 18. He's a power forward also, which if you move Randall, you could use another power forward. Why not take so the next guy after him, according to the mock here, is another center. But then there's a shooting guard, Johnny Davis. I feel like the Knicks could use some help. Knicks could help with the guard position.
So, yeah, the Tankathon has Eason at 15, and the Ringer has him at 16. But
why do you think Eason's the guy?
Well, look at the pluses for Eason, and you might see some overlap with the negatives for the guy they think the Knicks is going to draft.
What? To let us know, Jay. What are the pluses?
Gritty defender. He can get steals. He draws a ton of fouls. His shooting got a lot better in his second year. He's athletic, and he has a desire to facilitate.
I mean, all those things really just don't sound like a Knick.
Right. Sounds.
I don't know who. I mean, for a while we were talking about Ty, who Ty was like at some point ranked like number 7 or 8. Now he's like ranked 19 on the mock. At least this mock I'm looking at. He's fallen off a cliff, but he's also not really a point guard. But I'm voting for a guard. That was my overall vote.
Jay Shady wants to know what we think of Trevor Keels.
I wish I followed Barton. Do you follow college basketball well enough to know who that is?
Not well enough. The guys I mentioned, like when I got in here, I didn't have the names in front of me. That's the name I don't know.
He's a shooting guard projected to go in the second round.
Where did he go to college?
He went to Duke.
Okay. I mean, anyone in the second round, we're just going to have no idea. But because we're just not an informed.
You know what?
We're
I'm just going to make a summary of this. It's another mid-round, useless waste of time pick that's going to do nothing.
You don't know the Knicks fans. We go insane over our second round picks.
Yeah, don't even get people started on quickly. And
what? We're going to go back to Ronaldo Bachman,
McBride. And
no, our more recent picks. Knicks fans think every pick in the second round is like a Hall of Famer. Yeah. I think we have Deuce, who's been good on
Deuce
defense.
McAllister.
Yeah, he's been good on defense, but like hasn't shown that much on offense. He's shown some things he's been Deuce McBride. He's shown some things
McBride. Deuce. I just took a Deuce. Whatever.
I mean, Knicks fans. He shows things in G League, and Knicks fans are like, "Oh my god, why even bring in another point guard when we got this guy?" And there's some guy we have stashed in Europe, and they're like, "Oh my god, he's playing 7 minutes a game in Europe. He's the second coming."
We're not the Spurs. We don't know how to pick those types of people.
No, I mean, maybe the guy will end up being good. Who the hell knows? He's not coming to the NBA next year. He's going to spend more time developing in Europe. I think the Knicks should send all their draft picks to Europe to develop because that would probably be a better system than what they currently
better than the G League.
It really would make more sense. Just send the guy to Europe, let him learn how to play basketball, then bring him back here.
I don't understand how many good players have come out of the G League? Seriously, like how many?
Miami, 2 of their starting players in the
are from the G League. That's 2.
The Raptors have gotten a bunch of players out of the G League. There are a lot of good players that come out of the G League.
Well, a jury, right? But the Raptors also have a lot of good like foreign guys, right?
Yeah, I mean, but the Raptors, like the Heat, there are certain teams that really use the G League to develop players and really scout for talent there. And there's a bunch of good players in the G League because not every guy is ready for the NBA right when they leave college.
I agree with you.
I mean, it used to be everyone stayed in college for 4 years, and so they really had a chance to develop. Now you're like, hey, you got like a couple rebounds a game in your freshman year. Just go to the NBA and figure it out there.
Well, I was saying to Jay before you came back is that I think the whole name, image, and likeness thing is going to really screw up drafting after this year, if it hasn't already. Because I think the whole system is going to be really hard to figure out. Guys are going to be paid now. There's also gambling behind the scenes. Not that there wasn't gambling before, but I don't know. I just feel like there's so many things going on now, and college basketball is going to be weird. Like the teams that you're used to being good, I don't see Villanova being good for a while.
Because they're not going to figure out how to pay their players?
Well, Jay Wright's gone, right? What's their name recognition?
Oh, yeah. Well, I feel like the guys in college, most of them don't make the NBA. They should all be allowed to make money off their names. There's just no issue with them making money.
I don't mind them making money. I honestly don't care because they were making money anyway. Now it's all
Yeah.
out in front of it's like legalizing marijuana. Whoever wanted to do marijuana was doing marijuana.
But now they can really do it out in the open. Like, if you were good at coding and you were in college and you wanted to take a side gig doing some kind of coding job, no one would prevent you from doing that.
Right.
I mean, it's absurd. These guys are like, they're working 40-hour-a-week jobs playing in like college basketball.
It's not easy.
So like, let them
but
earn money.
They do get a free ride though.
No, they work a full-time job to get this. It's not a free ride. It's their compensation, basically.
Oh, yeah, I hear you.
I mean, I'm going to guess the three of us, none of us work even close to as hard as a college football player works.
Maybe except the kicker.
Yeah, maybe not the kicker. But generally speaking, any of these guys work a lot harder than we do. And they also put their bodies at risk. So, whatever.
All the ones that go to class.
Yeah, whatever. We're not here to talk about whether things. Either way, this stuff is going on, and I think that's great. Let them earn as much money as possible. And you're right, though. It could keep guys in college longer, but that's not a bad thing either, because then maybe a guy takes a little more time.
Then maybe they'll develop.
Yeah,
sure.
Because like it really like what sucks is that if you declare too early and then you like sign an agent and then you're not drafted and you're kind of screwed. Whereas it would be nice if you could be like, oh, you know what?
Fall back on.
Yeah, it's like be like, hey, you know what? I wasn't drafted. No one wanted me in the first 2 rounds. Let me just go back to college, continue playing in college, so forth.
Yeah, that's fair.
But anyway, so anything else you want to say about the Knicks and the draft, or should we move on to the playoffs?
Let's move on to the playoffs.
Okay. So
the draft is boring. I'm sorry. I hate to be such a naysayer. It's boring.
I mean, we'll be pretty obsessed with this. The one thing I have to say is my nightmare scenario is I think Leon Rose likes to. He's in the last 2 drafts. He's made these like trades. He likes to be cute. He's like, I can't just take guys with the picks I have. Let me see what I can do with this. Oh, I'm playing 4D chess. I'm so smart. And usually that means you're just doing dumb shit. And the Knicks' last 2 draft picks haven't been terrible. Right? They've been decent. They've been pretty good. But my fear here really is that he's going to trade the number 11 pick for something stupid. Like for like a thing of like a handful of magic beads. He's going to be like, I swapped the number 11 pick for 3 second-round picks. They're top 58 projected, but there's 3 of them. And like, oh my God, this is going to be like, I just don't want him to trade out.
I do. Here's the thing. Why? Because an 11th pick isn't going to matter for them. It'll matter for a team that knows what they're doing. I don't know. You have confidence in this organization knowing what the hell it's doing.
You have to win an NBA, you have to nail draft picks. You have to nail at least 1 draft pick. And if you're going to nail a draft pick, you have better odds of nailing the number 11 pick than you have of nailing the number 12 pick and so down the line. Like,
I guess. You know what you have to nail? Not giving a contract to a third or fourth first player contract to a third, fourth string type player.
Yeah. Obviously, we do a lot of dumb stuff here. But, like, if with the number 11 pick, there are plenty of guys. I mean, the league MVP was drafted like 41st overall. No, wait, did Jokic win it again this year? Yeah, he did. He was 41st overall. Donovan Mitchell, who we're dying to get, was drafted, I think, 12 or 13 overall.
Yeah, but we didn't draft him.
No, but
that's what I'm trying to say.
Well, I'm just saying the only way to correct this ship is for this front office to figure out who the right pick is, and the odds are just better the higher the pick is. So why trade out? You have everyone else on the board. Just draft at 11. Hopefully you nail the guy, and that guy could be at least a starter, if not an all-star. But why? What's going to happen if you trade out? You're just going to get worse.
Trade out into the next year's draft. They're going to suck next year. They're going to suck. Who's taking Julius Randle? Who wants him?
So Jay and I have been arguing about this. I'm saying Randle has no value in the trade market.
I agree.
Jay thinks there's some value.
Who?
Jay?
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of value there.
Where does he fit?
He fits with Portland.
He doesn't fit with Dallas. My whole thing was Dallas, and clearly he does not fit with Dallas.
Well, I remember not that long ago, we were like, oh, I hope Dallas tanks so we get their pick. This is like a year or 2 ago, right? Mm-hmm. And now all of a sudden they have a really good, legitimate shot. I still think Golden State will beat them, but
they have a good chance against Golden State. I mean, they have a decent chance going to the finals. Like, by the way, the Jalen Brunson stuff is over. whether you want Jalen Brunson or not, he's
You're not gonna
not
get him.
leaving Dallas. It's
No way.
over.
All right.
They've shown enough this year that they're bringing this team back and trying to make it better. They're not going to get rid of Jalen.
Honestly, they may run the same thing back. Remember, this team wasn't the way it was the whole year.
Right, and also Jalen Brunson. Yeah, they said, how do we make this team better? Porzingis, leave. Oh, look how much better we are without Porzingis.
And nobody's talking about how Hardaway's out. Like
Timmy's out also,
and they're still in the conference finals. So, yeah, they're keeping Brunson. He's a huge part of the team.
Well, he's a free agent, so technically he could leave, and people are going to make the connections with the Knicks. It doesn't matter. He's not going to be like, what do I want to do? The Knicks have been dog shit for the last 20 years. Oh, and I'm playing next to the guy who might be the best player in the NBA, who might very soon be the best player in the NBA. He's going to stay in Dallas and play next to Doncic. It's an easy choice for him.
So who do you think? What do you think happened? Do you think it was more Dallas is really good, or Phoenix had one of the biggest choke jobs in playoff history?
I think Chris Paul's old.
Yeah, but
that's true.
Devin Booker?
I think that's just what it was. I think
Booker
he
Ayton
just
sucked too.
fizzled out at the end. You know, or he got hurt. We don't know it.
But that's fair. Devin Booker also sucked. What happened to Devin Booker?
He got hurt. He got hurt though. We forget that he got hurt in that first round.
He did, but he was playing games thereafter.
Yeah, he seemed fine for the
true.
first 6 games of that series.
Also, Phoenix, when you build yourself like your third best player is DeAndre Ayton, and you're like, can't put him on the court. That doesn't sound good.
I'm with you. I'm gonna say it was the Kardashians.
The Kardashian theory?
The Kardashian jinx.
Please explain, Jay.
So here's a list of players that have banged a Kardashian. And tell me if you think
allegedly. Go on.
No, they've all banged a Kardashian.
Oh, whatever.
And,
go.
And tell me if you think they have overachieved or underachieved in the playoffs. James Harden, Ben Simmons, Jordan Clarkson, Devin Booker, Chris Humphries,
Just gonna say Humphries,
Chandler Parsons, and Lamar
Odom.
It's pretty legit.
Is Lamar Odom alive?
The only one that actually had a good playoff run was Lamar Odom, but then he literally died and came back to life afterwards. So we'll add him to the list. But everybody else, as soon as they start dating a Kardashian, playoffs are done.
Yeah, so we should hire the Kardashians to go, go out with who do we want to take down?
Whoever the Knicks. I mean, there's so many of them. Just hire one for each round.
By the way, for process of elimination, the Knicks beat the Celtics twice this year. Process of elimination, if the Celtics win this whole title, the Knicks are the best team in the NBA.
The Knicks crushed the Mavs both times they played too.
Yeah, the Knicks really everyone should be we wish we were. I mean, we're making it to the finals, but we wish we were as good as the Knicks.
Well, I remember the first game of the year was against the Celtics, and everyone was like, "Holy crap!" But it felt like a playoff game, and they were going all out. And
it turned out the Knicks were going all out. The Celtics were like, "Yeah, this doesn't matter that much."
Andrew said, "I need to bang a Kardashian
No one had
to prove my theory." Well, you just want my life to crumble?
Wait, what would you say?
Andrew said, I need to bang a Kardashian to prove my theory, but I don't really want my life to crumble. Maybe one of you guys can test that out.
Yeah, I mean, you should just ask Jay, ask your girlfriend, is this okay? It's just an experiment. This is for science. Which Kardashian are you going to bang?
Chris. Sorry. The fact that I knew a name is bad enough.
You were pretty fast on that one, too.
So I knew you were going to ask the question at some point. I was like, just say the old bag.
So, I mean, I think this was just an epic. I mean, I think Dallas is really good, but it was 4 minutes left in the half before Paul, Booker, or Ayton scored, and it was like an Ayton dunk, I think. That was 2 points between the three of them with 4 minutes left in the half.
Yeah, it was completely absurd how much they fell apart. And I guess the Suns are they're not. I thought they were really deep. They're not when it comes to the playoffs because they're not really using their bench, and it's hard also to say Chris Paul's our best or second best player when the guy's 37 years old. Plus, he's Chris Paul.
Yeah, I think we're done with Chris Paul now, right? How about Patrick Beverly? Holy crap. He really blasted him.
So Dallas was playing 4 ex-Knicks and 2 guys that they got with the other ex-Knick they had. So it's basically if the Knicks drafted Luka, this is what the Knicks would be.
Yeah, that's pretty much. And they hired Jason Kidd as their coach, which they probably should have because he coached them in the 54-win season.
He coached a hell of a season.
Yeah,
He's had an interesting coaching career.
Yeah, it started off a little shaky, and he's been really good since.
I mean, it looked very shaky. I mean, with the Nets and the Bucks, but like it's working out well now.
Yeah.
But really, like the Porzingis, like as much as we loved Porzingis or pretend like thought he was gonna be great, he was in the way. He was a problem there.
He was. So if they didn't make that trade, they're not in the conference finals, right?
No way at all.
No way.
That is the biggest difference of all. It's just like,
Didn't we say that was a great trade at the time? I felt like we said that.
yeah, I don't think like Bill Simmons was talking about today. He's like the biggest trade at the deadline was the Porzingis trade. We didn't realize it at the time, but that was like they trade Porzingis. Like if you said to someone at the time like, "Hey, this Porzingis trade might get them to the finals," you'd be like, "Well, who did they get for Porzingis?" And you'd be like, "It doesn't matter. Just they got rid of him."
I mean, Dinwiddie's been awesome. And
He's a good player, man. The Nets should have never let him go.
But he's also like he's not an amazing. He's a good scorer. I think if they got literally no one for Porzingis, they might still be here.
Andrew thinks it's the Theo Pinson effect. This is his third straight team where they really overachieved when he got there.
What is the deal with him getting a spot on rosters just to be a cheerleader?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, who used to do that? That guy.
Ask Udonis Haslam. He's still getting paid.
I'm thinking of a white guy.
Haslam hasn't,
used to be in
Haslam hasn't
the
played
Celtics.
serious minutes in like 7 years, and he's still under contract.
I mean, at least hasn't played serious minutes for a long time. Like Theo Pinson has never contributed to the NBA at all, besides clapping.
Apparently, he does it really well.
Didn't work for Dallas Cowboys head coach.
True.
And former Giants head coach.
So how you guys
All he did was
about Golden State Memphis?
Oh, Golden State Memphis. What about that series?
Yeah.
I think it's crazy that John Morant, when he's out, they still play really awesome.
They have a really good record. Like regular season, they were great without him.
It was like 22-2 without him, and they were a tough out without him in the playoffs too.
I mean, this is the model for the Knicks. I mean, obviously it'd be great to have Ja, but like the model really is they are just a well-coached, they have a lot of players. Well, I guess, what's his name? It's pretty darn good also. Jaren Jackson. But either way, it's a bunch of pretty good players who all just play really well as a team.
I think they might be the deepest team in the playoffs. Well, they were.
Yeah.
They were.
Or they were.
I mean, they were like legit 10 deep.
Right. So that's what the Knicks model should be. Like, forget chasing all-stars. Just build through the draft and try to get really good play. I mean, like, if you surround RJ, if you like, obviously you want a guy who's an all-star, a 10 out of 10. But you get like RJ turns into like an 8, and you surround him with a bunch of guys who are like 6s or 5s. Like, you have a deep team, it makes a big difference.
So the thing I worry about with all these Knicks that have these great seasons, right? Someone's got to score, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this year it was RJ's turn. The year before it was Randall's turn. So is it fool's gold? I think Randall's going to be all right, but is it fool's gold because somebody's got to score?
Well, first off, yes. So someone has to score. So like even on a bad team, there'll be a guy that scores 20 a game. He might score it on bad shooting because every team scores at least 80 points a game or 90 points a game. Like the points are just there. Someone's got to score.
Right.
And so like ideally, I want them to move Randall. You move Randall. I feel like Randall and RJ together would be a really tough guys to play together because they're both high volume, low efficiency. It's really tough to have two of those guys on the team. In theory, RJ will get better and more efficient over time. Obi is a better complement because Obi is just much more efficient. His three-point shooting may or may not be real, but he's really also a guy that plays around the rim and like he's generally been pretty efficient as far as scoring because he does a lot of just dunks and like and his shot's not that bad. When it's like his mid-range shot's not that bad. I feel like he's just you need to surround RJ with guys that are more efficient.
Mm-hmm.
I just wish we could put all these other players on real organizations so we could actually see how good or bad they are, because you can never tell with this stupid ass organization.
Well,
you never know.
Most of the time when the guys leave, you find out they're not very good. Frank Ntilikina has played a few minutes here or there in the playoffs.
He is what we thought he was.
He's exactly like, there are people out there being like, "Oh my God, I can't believe the Knicks gave up on this guy."
No,
he's exactly what we thought he was. He's a guy who can really only play defense. He's a pretty good defender, but he's a bench guy that you use in like certain moments when you need a guy to play really good defense.
Yeah, you need a guy come in and shut someone down for 5 to 10 minutes. That's it.
Last year the Knicks probably should have used him a lot more on Trey instead of just at the end of a game that mattered. But either way, he's a very, very limited offensive player. There are not many guys in the NBA who play major minutes who cannot play offense.
Right.
That are not a center at the very least.
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay, so who you got? Dallas or Golden State?
Dallas or Golden State? I think. Well, I guess you'd pick it based on who is the best player in the series. Is Steph Curry or Luka the best player in the series? And I'm going to say Luka emerges as the best player in the series, and Dallas goes to the finals.
I got to say, I loved how Luka was just laughing in the face of everybody every time he hit a shot all game. That was just some epic trash talking. I loved it.
He also they built a team there that all play serious defense.
Yeah.
So it's not, and guys like Reggie Bullock, which I always like Reggie Bullock, he can shoot threes and he plays serious defense. Like getting a lot of guys that can play defense, and Ntilikina could use a little bit for his defense. I think they like Timmy Hardaway. I don't know how well he fits in this team because his defense is pretty weak. But I think Golden State also did not look as dominant as you think they'd look against Memphis when Memphis didn't even have Ja.
Well, the injury to Golden State hurt their depth too. Don't forget that.
Who was on Golden State again?
A guard, young guard.
Gary Payton Jr. Iguodala and Weissman are all injured.
Right.
Okay. But
Junior's injury hurt. That crushed them a little bit.
That's the only one that mattered, Gary Payton. The other ones did not matter. And Gary Payton's a hell of a defender. But you would have thought Steph Curry would have some really big games. He did not have any huge games. I don't know. I think this Dallas, they made it figure something out.
Well, I guess Green's going to guard Doncic, right? You would think, right? They're going to throw him at him a little bit.
You think so?
He always guards these big guys. They seem to throw it. I don't know who they're going to. He's tough to guard. He's the big mismatch. I don't know who they're going to throw at.
You know what I knew Phoenix was done? When Ayton was trying to guard Doncic, and Doncic backed him up all the way under the basket and then scored. Like, if you have their point guard backing up your center, you're done. That's it.
So I think they have to use some guy with length.
Because you can't have Curry doing it. Clay, I don't know.
Obviously not Curry.
I don't know if he's back up to defensive speed to deal with Doncic. Like, he missed 2 years. He's not what he used to be defensively. They're going to have a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble with Luka.
Yeah, I mean, you could try Kuminga, but he's not that experienced. He's gonna be a tough matchup. On the other hand, and as far as Dallas, who's guarding Curry, but Curry's just very hard to guard no matter what.
Yeah, but everyone on Dallas is. I don't know how they were 7th this year in defense when it seems like Hardaway must have been dragging them down because you got Bullock, Finney Smith is a good defender.
Well, I think the second half of the year they were one of the best defensive teams in the NBA. I think they had they had a very mediocre start to the year, and I guess post Porzingis trade, their defense became locked down.
Interesting how that worked out.
Yeah. Okay. So the other side right now, by the way, the Celtics. Are you guys Can I tell you the score?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So I'm just gonna jump to the game, but I'm not gonna. I don't need to watch it from the beginning. The Celtics are up 43-32 on the Heat. The Celtics also had a weird season where halfway through the season they were like, what is this team doing? This team is just going nowhere. And now they have a very good chance of going to the NBA Finals. They just figured something out halfway through the season.
They don't have Al Horford or Marcus Smart tonight.
That's two big guys to lose. Horford also had he had that one game last series. We were like, where the hell did they find? He was rejuvenated for that one game.
Well, Horford should come back, right? It's COVID, right?
Yeah,
with Horford.
With his third time this season getting COVID.
You're like, dude,
Going to the strip clubs.
not that you have to wear a mask all the time, but what the fuck are you doing?
I know 3 times seems like a lot.
It's a hat trick for Al Horford.
But great. What's his name? Williams.
That was a big.
Yeah, holy. What's his first name again?
Grant.
Why am I? Grant. Yes, he was unbelievable in Game 7. You're like, hey, Grant.
Once in a
Williams.
lifetime for him in that game, though.
He
Like
missed his
that,
first-
those numbers never come.
He missed his first 5 shots, and I thought they were going to pull him, and then he just started hitting them, and then it clicked, and he was fine after that.
I mean, the strategy of leaving him open throughout the game did not work out that well for the Bucks. The Bucks also, what if they hit like 3 threes the whole game?
Yeah, they were like.
I think he out 3'd them.
Yeah, they were
himself.
something like 4 for 33 at one point. It was insane.
Yeah, he hit 7, and the Bucks' entire team hit 4 through the whole game. I don't know. I mean, like sometimes you're just off on threes, but like it was just crazy how big. Like the Bucks should obviously have a bunch of guys around Giannis who could shoot 3, and they do have guys that like kind of could shoot a 3. Like I think Milwaukee losing Middleton really hurt.
That's what I was about to say. Middleton being out, I'm not saying it would have been different, but him being out he's a big piece.
It went to 7 without Middleton. I think they would have won with Middleton.
I mean, Middleton's their second best player. I mean, arguably you could say Drew's better, but like all the other guys we're talking the injuries,
pretty close.
Those aren't that big of a deal. Middleton's a huge injury.
Yeah.
But either way, Grant Williams, who I think he was a late first round pick, he's developing into a really good player for them. And he played awesome. The Pritchard played awesome. So what do you guys think? Heat or Celtics? What's going to happen?
I do have to say I think it's interesting that the Heat are starting Strus, which the Celtics waived.
Yeah.
It's like a revenge factor.
Yeah.
I remember, speaking of Deuce McBride, I remember when Deuce McBride, his numbers in the G League were like awesome. And someone was like, they're like, the G League numbers don't matter. That guy, Max Strus, dropped 51 in the G League. Like, and he sucks. And now he's starting on a team that might go to the finals.
Wow.
I think
coaching and GM are smart.
It's also why I respect the Heat. I respect them so much because they said, hey, Duncan Robinson, here's $20 million. And then they were like, hey, you know what? You're just not as good as this guy we found in the G League, so you're just not playing. Sorry.
Got to respect them for benching him like that for all that money.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like we're just going to play the best players and just we'll see how it goes.
That's Pat Riley. You know that.
That is how you're supposed to do a team. It's just your goddamn whoever's better, he plays. Also, the Heat are missing Kyle Lowry. It doesn't seem to really matter that they're missing. Kyle Lowry was a huge acquisition for them, and I don't know how much better are they really with Lowry.
I think they're better with a healthy Lowry, but
yeah,
when he tried to come in like half injured for the couple
it's
games in the playoffs,
not optimal.
Yeah,
it's also when you bring in like 37-year-old point guards, they're just not going to be healthy. So
they're not going to last long.
And this guy Gabe Vincent, like I think he's also from New York. He's from like Brooklyn or something like that, right? Am I wrong about this?
I think you're right.
He's from like the New York area. Sure. He's freaking tough as hell. Also another guy they found in the G League. 40% of their starting lineup are guys they found in the G League, and they're a pretty darn good team.
So you know Dallas is the only team out of the top 5 in defense out of the 4 teams left.
I'm surprised Boston. I guess Boston had such a bad start because Boston's been playing some amazing defense.
I think Boston was the top team second half of the year.
Yeah. No, I'm saying Dallas was the lowest ranked defending team out of the top 4 left.
Oh, they were the lowest.
I thought you said they were the only one in the top 5.
No, they're the only one not in the top 5. I think they finished 7th.
Oh,
okay. So last year the Knicks had like the best defense in the NBA, and they couldn't make it out of the first round. This year, all the best defenses are playing in the conference finals.
Yeah.
Well, they got rid of all their good defensive players and tried to get 3-point shooters.
Yeah.
Oops.
Who didn't really?
Yeah, the Knicks. The Knicks are like shoot, and now defense. Everyone's going defense. How can we be behind the curve on this one?
I mean, they're always chasing the tail.
Fournier shot well. It was just the whole team was just awkward.
The Knicks are going to be like next year, like, hey, we're ahead of everything. We know where the NBA is going. We're only going to go with players that are under 6 foot tall. That's where it's going.
You're going to get a bunch of firefighters, like JJ Redick said.
I think I'm going Celtics this series.
I bet the Celtics the last round to win the Eastern Conference, so I'm rooting for that.
I mean,
I
if
think
you're
they-
going like the best player usually comes out of it, I would take Tatum over Butler.
Tatum's on fire. He's already having a great night tonight. What does he have tonight?
He has 19.
He has
not
19
even
on 9 for 14.
Yeah, I mean,
5 assists, and we're not even through at halftime yet.
and also the Celtics just are deeper as far like. So let's just say Tatum has an off night. Jaylen Brown is pretty darn good. Like who's the second best player in Miami after Butler?
Maybe Hero.
I mean, Hero can go off.
I guess Bam.
Bam.
Yeah, I like what I mean. The Celtics have they have 2 star players, which beats 1 star player.
You know what? In another year, I would have said Oladipo, but I don't know if he's all the way back yet.
I don't think he's all the way back yet.
Oh, he's not even close to it being.
He has
back.
flashes, but yeah, I don't think I'm scared of him. I think he's.
But we forget how good he was at one point, with a couple years ago.
So who's the deeper team here?
Boston.
Yeah.
Without Larry, Boston.
Yeah, I know you said Larry, but I thought you said Larry, and I was like, you mean Bird?
No, I met Larry, Jack Tripper's neighbor.
I mean,
okay,
really,
so
you have Hero, Oladipo, and I guess you could dust off Duncan Robinson.
Wait, hey, by the way, would it be? I didn't even. I heard on the Bill Simmons podcast pointed out. If the Heat and Dallas go to the finals, how weird would that be? Like the third time this in the last 20 years.
Oh, yeah, we've seen that 2 times.
06, 11, and now this year. That would be so crazy.
With pretty much different rosters each time.
Completely different rosters, just different teams, different everything. Yeah.
Yeah, are there any common players? Was Dirk on both?
Dirk was on both, and Wade was on both.
Wade was on both, right?
But
yeah,
but pretty much the entire surrounding.
Maybe Udonis Haslem, was he on both?
Maybe.
But I think if you ever, 300 years from now, Udonis Haslem will still be on the roster.
Yeah. But pretty much the whole rest of the supporting casts were different.
Oh, it was turned over.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they were really just different teams. Obviously, the 06, the Miami identity was the Shaq Wade. The 11 team was the LeBron Dream Team.
Right.
In Dallas, you had first of all the Dirk, such a deep team, the one that won the finals, and the 06 Dallas team. What was their identity? I forget.
That was
it Michael Finley?
Michael Finley. I think Jason Terry was on both.
Jason Terry was on there. Yeah.
That was I don't remember. That wasn't that a memorable team they beat.
No, it wasn't.
I mean, obviously the Dirk team that won the finals, obviously a little more memorable.
The 11 team, well, because we were rooting for them so hard because no one wanted the Heat to win.
And they had a really fun roster. They had so many guys. They like
Jason Kidd at the end.
Yeah,
they had kids. They had Tyson
Marion.
Chandler. They had
Sean Marion.
Sean Marion.
Correa.
Yeah, they had a lot of good
Correa.
players.
I think they had Peja all the way at the end of the bench.
They had Peja.
Yeah.
It was also the first year of this amazing, but the LeBron team.
Yep.
And so you just wanted to see them lose so badly.
I remember rooting. I don't think I've ever rooted so much for a team that wasn't the Knicks.
I was
year.
so into that Dallas team just for that series. I knew that roster from up. I knew the whole roster for that series. I remember watching it at a bar. I was so into that finals.
I'm not even we're not even cheating on we know the guys. I'm not cheating. The only thing I've cheated on is just looking at the box score tonight. But
I obviously I watch the finals every year, but I'm trying to think of what finals were you the most into? Obviously the Knicks, forgetting the finals the Knicks were in. What finals have you been I'm thinking about I was really into
Golden State Cleveland the first time.
Yeah, that was really awesome. I was gonna say the one with Clay got injured also with Golden State versus Toronto. That was just a very interesting Durant.
Yeah, that was a good series. You know what playoff game I remember the most, and it bothers me, and they showed it last round too, where Steve Nash got checked into the freaking scorers table. Mm-hmm. That game angered me so much because I really wanted the Suns to win that year.
Yeah, me too.
And I thought they got so dicked out of that championship.
For a second I thought you said finals game. And I was like, Suns.
No, it was a playoff game.
Yeah.
But they should have won that year.
They should have won. There were some teams that really got screwed. I mean, they got screwed. The Mike Bibby Sacramento Kings got screwed.
Yes.
there were some like really good teams that you're like cannot figure out how they never won a title during their eras.
Those Kings teams were actually rootable. I wanted them to beat the Lakers a lot.
Tim Donaghy and company. That's how.
Yes. There were real good reasons why they not actually.
All right,
win.
before we go, Andrew wants to know: would you do CP3 for Randall?
Yes. Sure.
I would not.
So basically, I do think there's something about addition to subtraction thing for just getting off. I think Randall does not fit in this roster going forward. Just moving him would be very helpful. If you were assuming Chris Paul is injured, like his contract gets ridiculous from here, and it's like it's twice as much money as they're going to pay Randall.
Yeah.
He does make the team better in the sense of like guys will listen to me. Like he'll make guys better.
All we've been wanting is a point guard, right?
I mean, the last time we had a 40-year-old point guard, basically at the end of his career, we won 4 games. I was going to say Jason Kidd.
He's pretty much my least favorite player in the league, so no.
Harden's worse.
Well, Harden's my least favorite, but Chris Paul is like a close second.
I mean, how happy are you that Harden is out of the playoffs? Ben Simmons is out of the playoffs. Chris Paul is out of the playoffs. All the guys, LeBron didn't even make the playoffs. Durant is out of the playoffs.
What bad guys are left? Like, what guys do you really hate are left?
Marcus Smart's the only one that I dislike at all.
Who? Which one?
Marcus
Smart, I said.
Because he flops all the time. I always root against the floppers.
But generally speaking, I don't dislike anyone who's left in the playoffs. All the guys have been kicked out, basically. All the
bad guys are gone. All the bad guys are gone.
Yeah, I'm just so happy to see Harden. I mean, the whole Harden fiasco, like the fact that he's like Philly's like, yeah, you weren't very good. And he's like, so that'll be $250 million. You guys just want to give me the contract? When do you guys want to? Well, you want? Yeah. I want a max deal. I mean, I got to sign it now before I get even worse in basketball.
Just going on Twitter and typing in Harden and watching all the funny tweets. It's so much fun.
He's
so bad.
Holy crap! Did he fall apart? He fell off a cliff. If you're Philly, like. Let's just say he's like, I want a max deal, or like, let's say he's like, I'll settle for 5 years, $200 million. Something still insane. Do you do it?
No.
And he's like, if you don't give it to me, I'm walking, which he can do. Mm-hmm. Do you walk? Do you let him walk?
Cut your losses, yeah.
I wouldn't pay him anything.
But then you're like, Embiid, like, we did all this stuff, and now you're like, we're wasting your prime.
They didn't trust the process.
You think you're gonna waste his prime any less having him there?
No, yeah. I mean, Max, they nailed the Maxi pick. Maxi looks pretty good.
There's two things that hurt them. The Fultz pick, that never worked out.
Can you imagine how good they would have been if they just took Tatum?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
And the other one is not keeping Jimmy Butler?
No. What they did, the way the Ben Simmons thing worked. I mean, they both sides foobarred that one.
Yeah.
I did like when Jimmy Butler left the court. He was like, he made some comment like, Tobias Harris over me.
Well, losing Jimmy Butler was bad because he was a key part of that.
They chose Tobias Harris over him. I think they'd be a better team if they just kept Jimmy Butler.
Yeah. Well, look where Jimmy Butler is. He's constantly in the Eastern Conference Finals every year, right? Whether they're in the bubble or not.
Yeah, he's a pretty good player. And Harris is like a contract they wouldn't mind moving.
Yeah, I don't feel bad for Philly. I'm not a big Embiid guy. I mean, he's a good player, but he annoys me. He's another bad guy.
You know what's going to be awesome is when they're trying to figure out the James Harden thing, and they're like, "What should we do? This is a terrible situation." And James Harden kind of taps him on the shoulder, and he's like, "Hey, what's up? What's up?" And they're like, Embiid's like, "Yeah, so I want to be traded." And they're like, "Well, you have a long-term deal." Yeah, Harden told me you're allowed to be traded whenever, and I'm just not going to play here anymore.
Yeah. Who's going to pick up Harden if Philly doesn't? Because Philly's not going to pay that money. No way. Who's going to pay? What dumb team is going to pick him up? Because he's done. You could tell.
Washington.
Or Houston.
I mean, Washington went from Wall to Westbrook, and now it's
by the way,
Porzingis.
Do we also have to pretend Daryl Morey is a genius?
No. He's a risk taker. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
He is a risk taker, but he seems to have taken some risks that have not worked out.
Well, would the Sixers have gone as far if they kept Ben Simmons this year?
You mean losing in the second round? Yeah, sure. Why not?
But they took Miami to Game 7, right?
I mean,
With an injured Embiid.
True.
I mean, like Curry would have been better than Harden.
They would have had Seth Curry, who would have contributed more than Harden.
Yeah.
And Drummond could have spelled MVP.
If Embiid didn't get hurt, you think they win that series?
Not with Harden playing like that, no.
I also think literally every offer that was on the table for Ben Simmons, besides the James Harden trade, would have gotten them to the conference finals.
That might be true.
Yeah.
Tyrese Halliburton, CJ McCollum, any of the offers out there would have
CJ
been
McCollum.
That would have been awesome. If they got CJ McCollum, they'd probably be in the finals.
Look what happened to the Pelicans.
Pelicans look pretty good with him. Like it was just like literally the worst way you could use this trade asset. Like just completely screwed them.
Yeah, he sucks. Can't stand him.
All right,
I'm so glad he's getting his
at a
comeuppance.
time, guys.
Oh,
I know. We are NY Knicks Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Patreon. nyknickspodcast@gmail.com is our email. Subscribe on iTunes and Spotify and all that other stuff. And we will be back soon. And in the meantime, we'll probably be doing an episode of our comedy podcast, The Brink of Sanity. You can check that out.
What is going on in the background, Jay?
That's not my room, but I almost got through promoting all the stuff without you interrupting this time. Thank you.
What was the? Oh, is that? Oh, Martin, is that your family?
Jesus Christ, Mark. Just
the noise was my stupid ass kids.
Just let it roll. Just let it roll. It's okay. We have some background noise. We don't have to disrupt the whole show. Jesus,
it's so much better if you just point it out.
But I think I hear my kids again. I'm just going to talk over the closing again.
I love when we talk it over. Jay hates when we talk over it.
Let's disrupt the whole song because there was a sound in the background.
So Jay, can you keep playing it? Martin, can you tell us more about the Recorder concert?
No. I'm not talking about that.
Can you get one of your kids to play the Recorder over the show?
How about a whole podcast of just Recorder?
I told Jay this before. My son will only play the Recorder as a way to troll the Sixers.
I respect that. Recorder.
Andrew said we should do detailed analysis during the closing song.